Merrill Kelly, who set the tone yesterday. Wolf, he was the difference maker really in a lot of ways on the mound. He joins us right now. Merrill, thanks for the time, man. What's the vibe like right now?
Vibe's all good, man. We know that it took a minute to kind of enjoy last night, but right back to it, and I think we're all ready to go.
Man, going into last night's game, Merrill, what were you focused on the most facing that lineup?
Just execution. I think the first game I threw against them just didn't do a good enough job of doing that and got beat on some mistakes. And when these hitters, like Schwarber and Harper and Turner and all those guys that are obviously pretty locked in right now, the less mistakes, the better. The better chance you got at winning a ball game against those guys. So that was kind of the goal, just making sure that I took every pitch, pitch by pitch, and just made sure that I executed to the best of my abilities.
When in that game did you really feel like you settled in, and how big was the 3 runs that your guys got you in the second inning?
I would say the second inning, even though I gave up a run. Just not an ideal pitch. If I could take a pitch back from last night, it would probably be the pitch to Real Muto that he hit for a double. Not a bad pitch to Marsh. He did a good job of pulling his hands in and shooting that thing to right field. But felt pretty good other than that. The first inning, sinkers were just kind of getting away from me a little bit, kind of running off the plate. But once I got through the second, I had a pretty good feeling that I could go, give our team a pretty good chance to win. So,
Merrill, after 5 innings right now, as you well know, I was standing right next to you, okay? You didn't see me, but I was standing right next to you, looking at Torey as well. I was looking at him like, what are you doing, Torey? What do you mean you're taking Merrill Kelly out of here? It was just, okay, obviously I'm being a little facetious here, but you were pulled after 90 pitches, of course, in that 5th inning, after the 5th inning. Talk to us a little bit about that and how you're feeling about it today.
I think at the time, most of my reaction was more of kind of shock and awe more than anything. I think it kind of just took me off guard. Coming after that 5th, I felt pretty good. The ball was coming to my hand well. Obviously got through Schwarber, Trey Turner, and Bryce Harper, 1, 2, 3. So I'm coming off the mound thinking that, no problem. I'm definitely going back out for 6. And when he was standing there with his hand out, I think it kind of just shocked me more than anything. I think is where you saw most of the reaction from. We've had instances throughout my time in Arizona. Me and Torey have had plenty of conversations about, which games that I didn't appreciate coming out, which games, made sense. So we've got a pretty good open communication when it comes to that type of stuff. I think in that moment, just such a big game and such a big time of the year. Obviously, I wanted to be out there and help my guys win as much as I could. And maybe I'm old school, but I feel like starting pitchers should be able to take the ball and go as deep as they can. So I think more than anything, I was just a little surprised at the timing of it. But obviously our bullpen came in, did a great job. And we ended up getting the W. So that's obviously what really matters.
We're talking to Merrill Kelly. Merrill, Torey has said before, like he knows he feels like the bad guy sometimes, or he has to be the parent in the room when he does that. You guys know that might be coming. And also he seems to at least know how to react now because like you said, it's happened before.
Yeah, and I think that just comes with competition, right? That's his job as a manager to make tough decisions at the times that he thinks that needs to be made. Obviously my job is just to pitch and go out there and give the team everything I did, and that's what I did last night. And so when those decisions come down the pipe, obviously we're not always happy about it, just being competitors and being at such a high level that where we're at, I think everybody kind of bets on themselves, which they should. I think most people, if they don't, they're probably not here too long. But at those moments, I gotta, he's at the end of the day, he makes those decisions and I gotta ride with it. And like I said, he pulled the right strings and pushed the right buttons last night. And we were able to get the big, obviously, Game 6 win.
Man, I'll tell you what, Merrill, honestly, what you just said, it rings true with me. It really is. He was right in the end, but I was standing up in my living room saying, what are you doing, Torey? The intensity.
Whole city was doing that.
But what I loved was your intensity level, Merrill. It was there, and this is basically who you are. Where did you develop that intensity level from?
I don't know. I think just over the years, just being competitive. I've been competitive my whole life. My brother and my dad are both big sports fans. They played sports growing up. My mom played sports. It's just kind of, I think, in our blood. I think when you do something and you focus on it your whole life and put in the work and the effort that we have, everybody in this locker room to get to the level that we're at, obviously we take it very seriously. And I think that's kind of what comes out in those moments, especially in the biggest games of our lives for a lot of guys in this clubhouse. I think we just want to do everything we can to compete and just kind of have the hard work and everything hopefully pay off, and a win.
We're talking to Merrill Kelly. Merrill, all the way back in spring training, we were doing the show out at Salt River, and you were one of the first people to tell us to keep an eye on Brandon Pfaadt this season. Now, I don't know if you anticipated him starting Game 7 of the NLCS at that moment, but what have you seen from him, even just over the last couple starts, that has made him so good against the Dodgers and Phillies?
Yeah, I think if you would have brought that proposition to me at that time, I don't think I would have ruled it out.
Wow.
Obviously that early in the season, it's hard to tell what somebody's going to do once they get in the thick of things. But I've been nothing but impressed with Fodder. He struggled, obviously, when he first came up, got his feet wet, and we sent him back down. And ever since then, I think every single start that I've seen, you just see not only the stuff and the execution kind of progress, but you also just see him, I think, more and more comfortable with the role that he's in. And him accepting the role that he is a big part of this team, and he will be a big part of this team for a while. But I said it last night in the interview. I think Brandon has everything that you need to become a really, really good pitcher in this league. He's obviously has the stuff. You don't strike out 200 hitters in a season, regardless if it's the minor leagues or the major leagues, if you don't have stuff to get swing and miss. And I think on top of that, he stays pretty level-headed. He works hard. He wants to be good. So I think Brandon's going to be a really good pitcher in this league for a while, and I'm excited for him that he gets to be in this situation. I think he's definitely the right guy for the job.
Merrill, does Brandon come up to you and ask you for advice in regard to not only hitters but also his career?
Yeah, there's definitely conversations throughout the year. I'm not necessarily a speak first type of guy. I'm bad at kind of issuing advice when it's not really solicited, so I kind of sit back, and if anybody has questions, I'm always open to discussing anything they want to. But Brandon's definitely been he's been curious as far as we've talked changeups, we've talked approaches, we've talked scouting reports, but that's what I mean when he definitely has the means to be good, because he definitely cares and he definitely wants to get better, and he wants to be here for a long time.
So you don't think it's your place, Merrill, to walk up to him and say, "Hey, Brandon, this is what I'm discovering about this guy." You would never do that?
I don't know about never. I try to pick and choose my spots. I feel like at this level, we have so many voices, right? We've got pitching coaches and coordinators and analytic people, that all are paid to do that type of stuff. So I don't always like to be an extra voice in somebody's head if I don't think they need it.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that's just not really my personality. I tend to, like I said, kind of speak when spoken to type situation in when it comes to offering advice. And what I see at the end of the day might not be what he's feeling, right? Everybody kind of operates differently. Everybody has their own, the way that they think about things, the way that they move at this point in the game. But there are definitely conversations had, and I will issue advice if I think it's really, if I see something that I think is really going to be detrimental to their success or development, then I'll step in then. But otherwise, I try to let the guys that are in charge kind of do that for the most part, unless they come to me.
Merrill, you've taken such a unique path to this point. How does it feel to be one win away? And then also you've done your part. You're one of the few guys that all you can really do is watch now tonight, sort of like the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm way more nervous now. Way more nervous pitching. Like, my butterflies are going already in the game, and we're still 4 hours out or however far. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. The fact that it kind of hit me this morning that we're literally one win away from the World Series. We watched the end of the Rangers game last night and watched them celebrate, to know that they're one of two teams left. And the fact that the D-backs, 2 seasons removed from being one of the worst teams in the whole league, to the fact that we're one win away from being in the World Series is absolutely mind blowing. But I think we're doing a good job as a team of just embracing it and having as much fun with it as we can. So hopefully we can get it done tonight.
Well, Merrill, you've been great with your time with us all season long, man. We're pulling for you. Hopefully we get to see you pitch again next week.
Thanks, Merrill.
Yeah, thank you, guys.